Well, no one saw this coming, man. R.I.P. to the young man, Preti. I don't know how to say his name, man. But, you know, he didn't deserve to die like that. Neither did Renee Good. You know. And, you know, it's very unfortunate, man, that those people are no longer with us, man. You know. Very unfortunate, man. But this is America. This is where we live, man. You know, our people, us brown folk, you know, black, brown, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, I prefer to be a brown person because, you know, my skin color's not black. Jacket is black, skin color looks brown to me. But anyway, we've been dealing with, you know, police shootings and all this shit for centuries, man, decades, man. You know, since they assembled police, they ain't did nothing but terrorize our neighborhoods. I mean, granted, a lot of us definitely did some criminal activity, but you know, we were kind of like put in a position to, you know, have to think like that in some instances. Whereas, you know, let's say, you know, you go up in these poor neighborhoods and, you know, you have sports and entertainment. But a lot of us wouldn't have shit, man. Because we weren't given the opportunities, man. You know, remember, even during when we had sports, you had to have the Negro League and all of that shit back in the days. They didn't want us nowhere near anything they were doing. You know, only put us in what they were doing, like entertainment and sports, because it benefited them. You know, we really couldn't be denied. You know, most of our people, you know, excelled in all their sports, you know, to high levels, like to greatness. So, you know, it was inevitable. You know, they couldn't keep us down forever. Same with education, all that other shit. They know that we excel when given fair shots. You know, we were never given fair shots. You know, whenever, you know, when they say make America great again, yeah, our people had greatness, and it was often destroyed, flooded, burnt down, people getting killed, massacred. We know what it is. But this ain't really about us. This is about humanity, right? I'm just getting to a bigger point. You know, we deal with a lot of, they used hatred, right? And they have preached hate, because you got to teach hate. And they have fueled hate inside the minds and hearts of a lot of people. A majority, but a lot of people. You know, because a majority of people don't think like these hateful people think. It's a minority that have infiltrated, and they set themselves up lovely, man. The 2 Senate per state thing, the congressmen, you know, getting all these seats and all this shit. They found ways to inject themselves, man. Because if you were going by the majority, this man wouldn't be in power. None of these people would be in power. If they listened to the people, they wouldn't be in power. But they have a base, and they have support because of the base and because of the maneuvering that they've done. They're able to hold seats in the Senate and Congress, right? Even though sometimes it can balance out because, you know, when you're running for presidency, you win like a lot of swing states and you win a few of the major states that are highly populated. And you know what I'm saying? Like you get more, what you call it, delegates or whatever. But it still doesn't mask the fact that, you know, because of the way the system is, majority don't really rule. They gave these states, you know, chances, you know, to feel equal. And feel equal when it's only a minority of them. So that's what makes them a lot of people. And don't get me wrong, there's some people in blue states that have hatred in them. It's all over the place. But they have to dumb it down because it's, you know, it's more, you know, it's more bigoted than really anything else. But, you know, when you look at what's going on, right? You know, you see 2 white civilians get gunned down in the street by federal agents. It's disgusting. All human life matters, right? They turn and twist everything to make it seem like, you know, liberal and, you know, blacks, you know, liberals, all they do is complain, cry, and the blacks, they just complain and, you know, want to be victims, and then they make themselves a victim. But when you look at reality, who were the aggressors, man, and all this shit? When you look at the common denominator, you know, we were the ones getting gunned down in the streets, getting our towns burnt down to the ground. But everybody else is violent and hateful. And they hide behind the government, they hide behind Christianity, they hide behind, you know, patriotism, all this shit, right? It's really bad, man. And you know, this is what they hide their hate behind, you know. So, you know, you look at our community, right? Like I said, we couldn't be denied. You know, we stood up for our rights peacefully for the most part, and you know, it was a lot of clashes, and you know, it was some violence. And you know, they did everything. What they did was they tried to silence our leaders by killing them. And then now, anybody that tries to make a mark financially and help their people on a vast scale, they jail them or they smear their name, things like that. So that's the new wave. They know they can't just outright kill us no more. You know, that's not gonna stop anything. It's gonna make it worse. So, you know, they just smear the people or lock them up, you know, mass incarceration. Or they, you know, come with a smear campaign or, you know, use the liberal shit against each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what they do. So, you know, you got a lot of these people, they took off the hoods and put on the suits, put on the ties, and, you know, they become politicians, man. Cops, you know, agents, things like that, enforcers, you know. We've been seeing that for a long time. Now, what I say is, like, they don't like the act of betrayal. So when they see people that look like them out there, you know, standing, you know, with people that don't look like them and protesting things of that nature, you know, and actually opposing what they're doing, they don't like it. See, with us, they had to learn to tolerate it, you know, because, you know, their kids loved us, you know, there was a lot of mixed relationships going on, so, you know, eventually they had to tolerate us, man, and they know they get a bad fucking with us, man. We trendsetters. They still don't like us, you know, you still got your hateful ones that will kill us, but, you know, that's, you know, it's not as bad as it used to be for us, now we've got equal opportunities, you know, things of that nature. But when it comes to them, their own, they treat them bad, man. I remember being in the can, and one of my boys, man, he turned Muslim, right? And police used to pull him over. They would let me go, but they would pull him over, you know. They won't let me go. They already got me locked up. My life's already fucked up. That's another way they kept us oppressed, you know, suppressing our rights and shit like that. But, you know, they would pull him, throw him on the wall, they would rough him up. Why you with these black guys? You're not Muslim. You're a white guy, man. What the hell are you doing with these guys, man? Beat him up, throw him on the wall, frisk him. You know, on a daily basis, they would do that to him, man. He used to get tired of it. I remember him telling me, like, yo, I'm tired of them fucking with me every day. Like, you can see it breaking his will a little bit. Like, I used to try to, like, yo, man, it's gonna be all right, man. I forgot he ended up getting out of there. Something ended up happening. He ended up leaving or whatever. But he got transferred or something like that. But it was bad for him, man. It was bad for him, man. They don't like when they see their own standing with you, man. And I'm not talking about all, I'm just talking about the hateful, racist people, man. Those people. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, there's a lot of good people that don't think like that at all. It's those people, those hateful ones, man. They just hateful people, man. You know, like they want to criticize everything that benefits people that don't look like them. Like say DEI, right? Even though we know a lot of women benefited from DEI. DEI saved a lot of people, man. It actually gave equal opportunity to people. Opportunities that we never used to get, like jobs. So it's like, you know, I come home from prison and I'm trying to get my life straight. I try to go to college. Well, you can't go in this college because you have a record. You can't get this job because you have a record. So how the fuck am I supposed to change my life? How? Explain it. How do you change if you're not getting a chance? So what are you gonna do? You're gonna hit the streets. You gotta eat. You gotta make some money. So you're gonna hit the streets. So this is what I meant earlier about, you know, look, a lot of times people were kind of like forced into shit. Growing up in bad neighborhoods, police constantly harassing you and your people, you know what I mean? Like, drugs were poured into our neighborhoods. We were put in endless wars. Drugs poured into our neighborhoods. So a lot of us saw was a way out was crime. Man, you know, he getting money over there. Look at the nice car he got. And that's all we seen. All we looked at entertainment. Entertainment was saving us. You know, sports and entertainment was saving us. You know what I mean? Now, a lot of brothers are getting opportunities. So you see a lot of brothers in higher places. Dudes are getting more career jobs. You know, the opportunities are there because we're given a fucking fair shake. So it's not DEI, it's not because it's sympathy shit. Give us a fucking chance. And we're proving ourselves. You see a lot of brothers in high places, a lot of sisters got good jobs. You know, you see a lot of women in positions of power. And you know, people are thriving, man. And these hateful people, they don't like it. They don't want to see you have shit. Now, right? They start seeing more black faces, more brown faces, whatever you want to call it, more women in positions of power. They start to see them holding seats. You see a black president that most of them probably voted for. You know, the hateful ones didn't, but you know, a lot of them gave him a chance. He did good by the people. They benefited from him, you know. But you start seeing those faces. Now they starting to see a lot more newer faces that don't really look like me, a little lighter than me, and barely speak English. But now these people are starting to thrive. They're coming here and they're thriving, and they're looking at themselves like, damn, we're losing our grip in this country. We starting to see more Latinos. We seeing blacks. We got more women getting positions and all this stuff, man. We got to take our country back, man. And people like Trump and them, oh, they feasted off of that, feasting off of it, man. So they're feasting off of it by turning people against each other, immigration, all this shit now. of course, I'm against illegal immigrants coming here, people coming here, committing crime and things of that nature. You know, as a citizen, you know, yeah, I want our borders to be tightened up, and you know, we don't want people coming here committing crimes and terrorizing our communities. Yeah, those people should go, but I don't think people sign up for this. Mass thugs running the streets, just throwing people in vans. Like, come on. And for people that support it, they only support it because of their hate is blinding them so much. You know, law speaks to people that are deaf, dumb, and blind, that you can't save them. And that's these people. They're blinded to the loyalty of party and hatefulness and their ideologies and shit like that they hide behind, man. And they hide behind like Christians and Jews, and they hide behind like, you know, nationalism and pride and all this shit, and being a patriot, and, you know, and another thing too, it's time for our government to step up, man. Like what's happening with the generals, what's happening with the you know, but he put all his people in power. But it's like, you know, if you had any humanity, the ones that are not appointed by him, why aren't they standing up, man? I'm saying we cannot go through these orders. These are unlawful orders. But because they're given a green light by his cronies, they're doing whatever they want to do. But where's their humanity? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. You know, like, when are they gonna speak up? When are these congressmen gonna start stopping this shit and speaking up, and senators and shit like that? But like I said, most of them, you know, they're in the pockets, man. They're not gonna step up. They don't care, man, because it's not them, and they're being paid. And a lot of these guys, they're in a position now, you know, to do what the hell they want to do, and it feels good. This is what I meant by, yo, it's not him, it's the people behind him. It's those people, man. It's the Stephen Millers giving them a green light. Hey, you got full immunity. He doesn't give a fuck who, you know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, he's a person that looks at anybody standing in the way. This is an act of betrayal. Don't get in our way. That's pretty much what he's saying. So, you know, where do we go from here, man? Like I said, when are our generals and when are the people like in the streets, or the you know, like I said, our generals, our soldiers, when are they gonna start saying, you know what, this is not right, man? When are these people gonna say that, man? I don't know, but yeah, until, you know, people start, you know, Supreme Court and, you know, the people that are in place start to say, look, man, you a little bit out of hand, your crew's out of hand, I gotta stop this. We're gonna lose this country, man. And it ain't just gonna be blacks and Latinos, it's gonna be everybody, man. I mean, these people don't give a fuck who you are. It's about control, man. Anyway, man, my hands are freezing. We get inside, man. It's about to be a snowstorm and it's freezing out here. I'ma holler at y'all, man. Many Fish Publishing, I'm out, man. Peace.